Hello and welcome to the Splunk ITSI Content Pack for Observability version 1 demo. This is the longer multi-vignette session. My name is Todd DeCapua. I will spend several minutes here walking through each of these specific items that we have on the agenda, helping you to understand how we've built a solution that will enable you to install this content pack in minutes and configure it as well, and then an out-of-the-box solution, focusing on those results that you can deliver again in minutes. As you can see, this is an example of one of the 5 glass tables that we ship with the content pack, and this has been designed for a number of different folks, including IT operations, executives, business leaders, DevOps, DevSecOps professionals, and many more. As we get into the agenda, these are the bits that we're going to be touching on. So as you can see, we start with an overview, getting into the why, the what, the how, the when. Next we'll get into what would this experience be like without the Splunk Observability Content Pack and that customer experience. Next we'll talk about Splunk Service Analyzer, what it is, have a quick look. Same thing for Splunk dashboards. Then we'll get into Splunk glass tables. We'll look at the 2 Splunk technology add-ons that are leveraged within this content pack. Then we'll get into 3 different demo flows. I'll walk through synthetics example, infrastructure monitoring example, and also an application performance monitoring example. And lastly, a slide that'll have links out to 3 additional resources for you. So as you've come accustomed to, we'll have Splunk Docs, a Splunk blog, and then of course a Splunk Tech Talks as well. So let's get started with our overview. Some of the things that you may be hearing, some of the things that we are hearing, we're moving to observability. We are modernizing our IT operations. We're moving from a monolithic architecture to microservices, and we are accelerating our digital transformation. Awesome. These are all great and relevant points of conversation to have, and of course the last question here is, how does Splunk help us? So this content pack will be one of many ways that you will see how Splunk can help you. And as we kind of transition into what are those capabilities, you can see that on the left-hand side, we've got what's referred to as Splunk Enterprise, and on the right-hand side, Splunk Observability Cloud. On the left-hand side, there's a number of different capabilities, including IT service intelligence, apps, deep dives, dashboards, search, KPI alerts, predictive analytics, machine learning, entities, and a whole lot more. So maybe you're in IT operations and you've become accustomed to using Splunk Business Service Intelligence or BSI, and these are some of the capabilities that you've been using throughout your career and your time in your current role. On the right-hand side is Splunk Observability Cloud, and as you can see, there are a number of capabilities there as well. Infrastructure monitoring, application performance monitoring, log observer, real user monitoring, synthetic monitoring, on-call, and again, there's many more capabilities there, but this will give you an idea of what is in Splunk Observability Cloud. And again, if you've been working more in cloud first or microservices focused architectures, these may be some of the capabilities within Splunk Observability Cloud that you've been using. Maybe you've been using, if you're in the IT ops space, some more legacy APM solutions, but again, wanted to provide you with kind of a quick overview of these 2 major areas of Splunk and the capabilities under each one. You would almost think of this content pack as being able to bring both of these together, and we'll go ahead and show you why. So, what is it that we've delivered? It's a single content pack. It's for ITE work as well as for ITSI, and the ultimate goal here is to kind of provide a complete view into the Splunk Observability Cloud suite. Where we've started, so I did mention at the top of this that this is version 1. is we're bringing in synthetics, infrastructure monitoring, application performance monitoring into this content pack. That'll make a little bit more sense, I think, in a minute when you see this. And number 3, you can see we wanted to provide very quick access to results. So in 2 to 3 clicks, going from a glass table to service analyzer, then being able to go from a KPI to entities, and then entities to details in Splunk Observability, again with a deep link. That is exactly what we've delivered and what our intent is. So again, as we think about some of those topics that we started off with talking about, so modernizing IT operations as an example, this is a very quick and easy way, leveraging this content pack, to do so. And again, gives you the ability to find that needle in the haystack in 2 to 3 clicks with the path that we just talked through. There's 3 reasons why we've seen this of extreme high value to our customers and to our prospects. The first one is kind of these SRE and DevOps teams living in Splunk Observability. However, the IT Operations, Network Operations Center, even some of the Security Operations Center counterparts living in Splunk Enterprise. So this, in what it has delivered, is enabling the entire team to take advantage of all that Splunk has to offer. And again, one quick, easy, simple to configure solution out of the box. Number 2, it's providing an answer to our customers on how to bring together both all the observability elements with infrastructure, including things like firewall, proxy, network devices, and some of the critical business systems like Microsoft 365, SAP, Exchange, Salesforce, and many more, to provide this complete view across the enterprise. So not just one side or the other, but now you get both of them brought together in one single solution. And lastly, really simplifying that overall experience for the customers, enabling you to quickly get this in-context results to the issue and then accelerate the resolution of that issue. So again, how do we get to those 2 to 3 clicks of finding it and then resolving that issue quickly? Again, I've mentioned some of the who we're focused on here, so you can see this content pack for observability. Really 4 major audiences that we've highlighted. In the upper left corner, you can see we have the NOC and the SOC teams, giving them these insights into application and infrastructure availability. In the upper right corner, we've got IT operations, and again, as you're thinking about how is it we can modernize that team, how do we provide them with this one-click access to identify issues with services, get to those associated entities, and then quickly get into those observability results. That's what we deliver in this content pack. Bottom left corner, DevOps and SRE, and again, this is providing this summary overview with that interactive interface to get them into the environment where they may be the most familiar. So getting into the Splunk Observability Cloud environment, again, providing that context to them, but also as they're working together with the NOCs, the SOCs, IT operations, they can also have that context as well. And lastly is the business. So whether it's an executive, a leader, or a business analyst, they want to get access to understand exactly what's going on. So giving them the access to quickly see, again, the performance, the availability of their critical services across key flows and metrics. These are the bits that our business counterparts absolutely want to be able to see, and we can bring that to them through the content pack for observability. So now we get into the what do you get with the Splunk content pack for observability version 1. And again, as we've seen, our focus really is on how do we get to speed to install and configure, providing a robust out-of-the-box solution and deliver results. So what you get out of the box is one service analyzer, 25 plus services, 70 plus KPIs, 15 plus dashboards, 5 glass tables, and 2 technology add-ons. So as you can see, this is an extremely robust content pack, providing you with a lot of pre-configured um, content to make it really simple for you to get results out of the box quickly. So, what is the customer experience without this content pack for observability? I think the most easy way for me to articulate it is through a visual that should look very familiar to many of you. This is one that you're probably used to seeing in the industry. It's one that you're used to seeing if you're a Splunk customer. So there's kind of three major areas of focus. You can see the bottom two I've encapsulated in this light blue or green colored box. This is what, without the content pack for observability, you have access to out of the box with Splunk Observability Cloud. So the application performance and user experience monitoring capabilities, as well as infrastructure monitoring and troubleshooting. Again, getting access to metrics, traces, and logs, again, all through the Splunk Cloud. Now, when we go ahead and add the observability content pack in, you now get the top level, or what I've encapsulated in the green box, is the service intelligence, event analytics, incident response, automation. Again, this through business service intelligence and some of the AI ops capabilities. So at the top level, if you were to look at what is it that you get now with the content pack for observability, you can see this is bringing that entire solution to you, again, very quickly and very easily. To help you understand a little bit more about that experience, and again, talking through the flow that I had outlined earlier, you can see here in the bottom left corner where we talk about noting the flow. So these 1, 2, and 3 here relate to 1, 2, and 3 on these images as well. So here we're going from the service tree to the KPIs to the entities. Again, very quick and easy to do that. And then number 2, we go from this entity detail over here and we click on one of these items regarding the navigation suggestions, and that takes us directly into Splunk Observability. So again, as you can see, very simple to go ahead and click, and then you're right into Splunk Observability, looking at that needle in the haystack. As a bonus, we're also shipping 5 glass tables out of the box. Many a times our customers will go ahead and leverage these by putting them up on their 40-foot walls, which exist within your network operations center or your security operations centers, or we also see it going on a lot of people's additional monitors. So maybe you're one of those folks who have 2 monitors and you have some things that rotate through on monitor number 2, or maybe you're even more fortunate and you have 3 or more monitors and space allocated for things like this. In addition, I've had monitors up on the walls before, so as teams and organizations are interacting together, they can walk by and look to see what's going on in the environment real time. So again, these 5 glass tables also come with the content pack to provide you with immediate insights as to what's going on in the organization. So Splunk Service Analyzer, if we looked at it from a little bit of a definition perspective, it's providing you a starting point into looking at everything that's going on, enables you to very quickly see the health of your environment at a glance, specifically each of these different services. Of course, you can click on them to be able to quickly drill down and look into additional analysis and comparison to see what's going on and why this is reflecting in the way that you're observing it here. If we go ahead and take a look at our service analyzer, you can see that the way that we have this organized for our content pack for Observability Cloud is in a way that we start up here with Splunk Observability Cloud. We also mentioned having synthetics here. We also have infrastructure monitoring and application performance monitoring. Under each of these are sub-services, and you can see, depending on which top-level service we're looking at, what those underlying items are. For synthetic checks, you can see we're bringing in all of these elements that you would expect to see coming in from Splunk Synthetics. We've also included an example synthetic monitoring check that have additional details in here, and the reason we have this in here is to make it very simple for you to copy or clone that service and then build out the KPIs, which are already in there as a template, to make it easy for you to make some custom ones as well. As we move over to infrastructure monitoring, you can see that we are bringing in data from AWS, Azure, GCP, as well as my data center hosts. And my data center hosts are instrumented in a number of different ways, but you can see most of these would be through things like OpenTelemetry, and we're bringing in OS hosts, Kubernetes pods, and Docker containers. And then to round out the last of this service analyzer, as we look at APM, you can see that we are looking at red metrics. So this is rate, error, and duration for each of these, and we'll go ahead and dig into each of these different subservices as we go here. Within Splunk, we also have Splunk dashboards. Dashboards provide you with a variety of different types of views. These are very easy to create and customize. As you can see, these are made up of a variety of panels. In this example, we have 6 main panels that we're looking at with results. They can contain modules as well. So you can see that we do have some search boxes that can be in some of these. There's fields, drop downs, charts, tables, lists. They're usually connected also to reports. So again, in the content pack for observability, we do ship with a number of different dashboards, and if we were to go ahead and look at those directly, we'll open these up. As you can see here, we're showing 26 dashboards, and if we looked, for example, at this Splunk APM dashboard, this is the screenshot that we were just looking at, and as you can see, this is pulling in all of our red metrics across everything that's reporting in from an APM perspective. So you can see rate, error, and duration, and again, this is just reporting in across everything that we have right now. If you wanted to look at a very specific service, you could just select that service here. This is a dynamically generated list based on everything that's available in Splunk Observability Cloud. So again, you can see everything from a rate, error, and duration perspective as it's coming in right now. As we move to glass tables, these are creating dynamic or contextual views of basically what you lay out as it would relate to a service or a business process. Enables you to then monitor them real time. You have metrics available to you from your KPIs. You can also create ad hoc searches to be able to pull in additional data and display them onto your glass tables. Service health scores will go ahead and update in real time against a background that you design. So as you can see in the bottom left, we ship out of the box with 5 different glass tables, and the way that these are named, it should be fairly easy for you to understand kind of what persona that is aimed towards. And then on the right hand side is our executive glass table that we ship with, and as you look at this, in the middle is the roll-up score for everything that's going on across your entire observability environment. If you just wanted to look at infrastructure monitoring, we would look to the right here, and again, we're able to see AWS, Azure, GCP, and my data center hosts reporting in here. Along the bottom is APM, so again, the same rate, error, duration that we were looking at within our tree view of Service Analyzer, and then synthetics, which is over here to the left, and they're reporting in as well. Additionally, we've included some key trends. So this is something you can see the kind of score over time, and this is a total roll-up. This is just synthetic, this is just APM and just infrastructure monitoring. So again, providing you with a little bit of a longer term view and trend. And as we will see when we jump into this demo, each of these items are clickable. That'll take you right into additional detail. I do like starting off looking at the executive glass table. You can see that we've got some pretty bad things going on right now in synthetics. So we could click to understand a little bit more there as to why and what. But it really looks like it's driving from our browser checks as well as our HTTP checks. This does impact the total score. We can see that there's some things going on within our AWS environment as well. So again, a lot more that we could quickly click on here or here or here to see exactly what's going on. So let's take a little bit closer look here as to why our browser checks are doing so poorly. And we can see that response time is extremely high in a number of these different ones, but really this travel app search is the one that's causing an issue. Now in our flow demos, I'll be doing 3 of them here in a little while, and we'll get into exactly how we flow from one to the other. But I wanted to give you that view of the glass table and how easy it is to go ahead and click through on these. In addition, we can see the trends associated with those key metrics within our environment. The next glass table that I wanted to look at was our Splunk Observability DevOps and SRE detailed view. And what you can see here is we have an additional kind of level down into each of these different services that we had seen on the service tree, and providing a level of detail that is really hard to find otherwise. And as a DevOps SRE operator, this is the information that I would want to be able to have access to quickly. And much like we just seen, days since last error is 21 from an HTTP perspective, and this is in synthetics. If we just look at browser 500 plus codes, we have one of them in the last 4 hours. So again, we can click on any of these to go into the additional detail, just as you had seen from the executive glass table. This being more of a knock type view, where we can see summaries of each of these synthetics, APM, and infrastructure monitoring, and then here some of the top level details. And here as we zoom in, we can see how this has become degraded over time from an HTTP perspective, and the same thing from a browser perspective. So very quickly something did go wrong in our environment, and we need to go ahead and look at that quickly. So again, this being a very good representative example of things that could go on in your environment and why you would want to look at them quickly. But this provides you with that very simple and easy one click, and it'll take you right into the results. This is our overview with columns. So again, our synthetic monitoring, then APM, then infrastructure monitoring, being able to see everything that's going on in one quick view. Glass table related to the observability overview, and again, this one is layered with radio gauges. So we're going top down, almost like a layer cake, starting with synthetic, and then going to APM, and then SIM, and these are called gauges. So providing you a little bit of a different view and results, but it's one that if this were up on a 40-foot wall, it would be very easy for you to see this and understand where you are right now and what you may need to click on quickly to learn more about what specifically is going on in your environment. We're going to look at the Splunk technology add-ons. As I had mentioned, there are 2 of them specifically that we'll need to look at, and these add-ons provide you with that ability to not only extend the functionality and the apps that run on Splunk, but provides this very simple and easy way of getting inputs, or as we often refer to as GDI, or getting data in. And this may be aligned to a specific technology or a specific vendor. As you can see, we are leveraging both the Splunk infrastructure monitoring add-on as well as the Splunk synthetic monitoring add-on. So from a SIM perspective, we are getting the SIM and the APM data in from the SIM add-on, and then over here on synthetic, we're just getting the Splunk synthetic data in that way. If you want, we can take a look at each of these links that I have included. This will take us out to Splunk base, and you can see a little bit more in detail specific to what each of these are and what is available today. In addition, some of the additional details, some of the additional Splunk docs that are available for release notes and supporting you and doing the install and config. As well as here we have the Splunk synthetic monitoring add-on. And again, a lot of very helpful documentation here to help you get started. However, for this content pack, we also have Splunk docs, which has all the detail that you will need to go ahead and get up and running with the Splunk Observability Cloud quickly. So let's get started with our demo flows today. Within synthetic, again, we can see the myriad of options that we have. If we were to kind of look at our browser checks, and maybe we want to check out response time, and we can see that we have a pet clinic error page. When we click on that, what we're going to have open for us is this synthetic real browser check detail, and this is a dashboard. You can see that we have the pet clinic error page here, and a lot of data that's already previewed for us coming in from synthetics into this dashboard. However, what I want to be able to do is actually go and understand more specific details, and what you can see here in our entity information are, here are some specific entity details. This is the title, this is the type, here are all of the tags that come along with this, the navigation suggestions, as well as the services and KPIs that are running and observing behind the scenes on this specific entity. And when we go ahead and click here on this link to our recommended navigation suggestions, you can see that this failure is coming straight from Splunk synthetics. Specifically, here are some of the key metrics. Here's the film strip view that you've grown accustomed to seeing, and you can see that this is creating an error condition. Some of the additional details, again, all from here. However, the real important and the real high value item is being able to see that flow of going very quickly from, here we are in IT Service Intelligence, and we're clicking on response time, we're clicking on our pet clinic error page, which immediately drops us into this entity detail. Again, we have all the entity detail right here coming in from Splunk synthetics. And then when we click over here on the fly-in, we get all the additional entity information. In addition, those navigation suggestions here, which then launches directly into Splunk synthetics. So again, this making it very, very easy and quick to go from, let me understand a little bit more about what's going on here at the top level, with a few clicks getting into the detail, again, within Splunk synthetics. As we look at infrastructure monitoring, here we have AWS, Azure, GCP, and my data center host coming in. And right here we've got some sort of degraded performance happening within EC2. And maybe we want to look at our CPU utilization. This now shows us that within EC2 we have over 4,000 entities running. If I want to look more closely at one of these and maybe why or what's going on, I can click here, which will immediately take me into my Splunk infrastructure monitoring interface to that specific entity and show me the details of what is going on within that entity. So again, the same kind of experience that we want our customers to have of being able to navigate starting here within our service analyzer tree, understanding, okay, something's going on here. I want to understand what that is, and I want to click here to see it, giving you that ability to then quickly go into, this view, which we can then see there's entity title, the entity types, all of the different tags that are coming across, then being able to click right here to go right into our Splunk infrastructure monitoring dashboard, but also seeing that we've got EC2 and OS host services looking at this specific entity, and here's what's going on as it would relate to the different KPIs, and you can see that we have 15 of them that are observing this specific instance, and our EC2 CPU utilization is showing as 86.1. So again, this would be something that we would want to look at in more detail as we would click on this Splunk infrastructure monitoring dashboard, enabling that to take us right into understand more about that specific entity. As we would come in here, again, there's the 3 different subservices where we're looking at rate, error, and duration. And if we look at duration, we can see that we have a single KPI. This goes ahead and pulls those different entities in. As you can see, we have 19 of them available right now. And if we were to look at checkout service, this will go ahead and pull up the dashboard that we were looking at before, and we will have this automatically selecting checkout service for us. And then our dashboard will go ahead and populate with the rate, error, and duration that we've come to expect. And as we come over here into the entity information, you can see that we have the entity title of checkout service. We've got our Splunk APM entity type. We have all the tags that are coming across. As we would look at navigation suggestions, you can see we can go into troubleshooting, tag spotlight, or overview dashboard. And then down here, these are the services and KPIs that are observing what's going on within this one specific entity title or this specific service. As we would click here into the Splunk APM tag spotlight errors, this view showing our checkout service and requests and errors, again in context with everything that's going on in our environment right now, and all of the details right here below for you to quickly see what exactly is going on and where. So again, as you can see, very quickly and easily going from service analyzer tree view into duration. One look at checkout service specifically. We land here in our checkout service dashboard. You can see all of our red metrics coming in. We then click here into the Splunk APM tag spotlight, and we get thrown in context into our Splunk Observability Cloud, APM specifically in this service, and we're looking at those requests and errors. There are some additional resources that I wanted to include for you as well. You will see this is a Splunk blog, so have a look there for the published Splunk blog, as well as in Splunk docs. You'll go ahead and find additional details around the install, config, troubleshooting, etc. for the content pack for Observability Cloud. And then lastly is Tech Talks. So Tech Talks is a regular session that we hold, providing practitioners with additional hands-on details for many different topics, including this Splunk Observability content pack. So with that, we are thrilled to be able to announce this content pack for Splunk Observability Cloud and making Splunk Observability available to you.